Svaha Tatsavetu Varenim Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayate. You can see the line, I don't know if it's coming through on the camera, but you can see the line of aerosol dispersions sprayed from aircraft through the tree line there. All over past that tree line below the sun is aerosol dispersions out over the water, out over the Atlantic. It's Wednesday, Wednesday, Woden's Day, the 6th, a day of 6, the vibrational numerological number today is 6. I'll explain that in just a second. Oh dear. January 2nd, 2019. Second day of the new year. So cold. So cold, so called. Wednesday, the day of Odin in Norse. Wednes, that's Odin's. Woden's, of all woe. Remember, Woden used to be the one that flew over on the winter solstice, and not Santa Claus, and Woden would determine who lives and dies the coming year. He sees you when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake. He's monitoring you, he's watching you. From above, the old Woden, old man in the sky. Sounds a heck of a lot like Yahweh, Jehovah, Jehovah. January, Jehovah. Janus is the Roman or italic god of the doors. Door equaling 52 in gematria, just like now, and it's anagram 1, W-O-N, and 6, 52 weeks in a year, 26 spring summer half, 26 weeks autumn winter half. When the sun's above the equatorial plane in the spring summer with these two quarters, 4 tours of the 4. D is number 4, letter 4, A, B, C, D, and it's the Daleth, Dal in Phoenician, and the Delta in Greek, meaning doorway, door, as in door at the beginning of Dorothy, phonetically, D-O-R, D-O-O-R, Dorothy, Theodore, meaning gift of God. God is 26 in gematria, G's 7, O's 15, D's 4. Aries equals 52. The point of the house of the rising sun, 3 o'clock, Aries. You see how 3, when you turn it horizontally, is the horns of the ram of Arise, where the sun is climbing to through January from 6 at the Tropic of Capricorn, the low point, climbing, arising to Aries through Janus, Aries, January and February, marching to March, to Mars at 3, the M arch. The golden arches, 3 and tree, the same word if you take the H out. And then you have heart and earth equaling 52 in gematria as well. 52-week year. So today, January equals in gematria, January gematria. Gematria the same etymologically as geometry. January equals 90. 90, 90. Not 19, 2019, 2019, 1920. Multiply those, you get 380. Like 2018 was, multiply those, you got 360. Full circle, now we're up to 380. And by 2020, it'll be 400. 2020, 2T. T is number twin T of the Tao, of masculine vertical L and feminine horizontal L, of Aries, 3 o'clock, sunrise, Adam, Libra, 9 o'clock, sunset, eve, odd, even, dawn, evening, on, off, day, night, God, devil, good, evil, summer, winter, summit, valley, above and below, 12 and 6, 3 and 9, 6 between, the base 6 of all sickness and health. This is the axis of sickness and health, and when you get into the mid-L between the two, in the twilight, twist, twine, twin of the T of time, the cross, crisscross, Christ's cross, you get into health in the midline, in the mid-L of L, of the balance of Kabbalah, the target, the center, C and Tor, tor, get, Taurus of the torso above, of the spring quartor of Aries, and the cerebrum, this quartor, Aries and the cerebrum, the spring, the brain of Aries, of the horns, of the left and right hemispheres, Sarah, Svati, Brahma, Sarah, Abraham, cerebrum, Ra, Taurus in the cerebellum, in the back brain, and in the Tarot, from which all stories, Tauruses, are told. The vocabulary of the bull, of amble and ambulance and gamble and ramble, the ram bull, the Aries and Taurus, and then Gemini in the arms and the lungs, the twins. The torso, and the other parts of the torso, Cancer in the sternum of the breastbone, breast Cancer, and then the solar plexus of Leo, the lion of the tribe of Judah, and then Virgo in the belly of virgin birth when you come above the belt, above the waist west line of 9, of the feminine, sunset. So today's number is 6, 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 2 is 5, plus 1 is 6, plus 9 is 15, 6. Of the soul of man, Solomon's seal of Solomon, the soul of man, Solomon, soul on. The masculine, which goes the up, vertical L, feminine, going down, descending, the horizontal L, and the vertical L of the god L, whose letter phonetic is letter 12, L, the Phoenician phonetics of the phoenix, of resurrection, of the right ascension direction, Ra.
And some nice suggestions. Our coffee break comes your way thanks to support from Wild Birds Unlimited on Route 1 in Danvers, featuring bird feeding and nature products and providing advice and education on our local wildlife. You can find information and instructional videos on their Facebook page or at the Wild Birds Unlimited store on Route 1 in Danvers. Great suggestion for this one, which is absolutely about starting new. Bright Eyes, First Day of My Life. Welcome into our restarting theme coffee break. Hope you enjoy it.
So the new year, astrologically, is at the spring equinox, and this is in the numbers, names of the months. Septem is 7, Octo is 8, October, Novem 9, December, Decem is 10. So Janus, January is 11, February is 12, March is 1. Mars. The beginning of the spring equinox. After the sun has arisen out of the tomb of the time. Resurrection.
Yours is the first face that I saw. I think I was blind before I met you. And I don't know where I am, I don't know where I've been, but I know where I want to go. And so I thought I'd let you know. Yeah, these things take forever, I especially am slow.
New Year, so-called. So today is the 2nd. The moon is just about black. The black moon of death is upon us. And the waning cycle of the moon. Waning's when the moon goes dark, and this is the waning crescent of the letter C of Christ, who dies on the tree of time, the cross, and is resurrected, reborn. After going completely black, after dying, he starts waxing and going full he, she, it, anthropomorphism, the moons, the months, all the names of the day, of deity, the deus, of divine divide, of December deception, the one who goes through all 12 positions. 2019 is a 3-year. 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 9. 2 plus 1 is 3 plus 9 is 12. 1 and 2, 3 of the trees. Of the 4 portors, of the doors, of Dorothy and Theodore, of Pandora, Pantora, of the Taurus, of the Pentateuch, of all tarot, rotary, penetration, penicillin, Pentateuch, Pentagon. Pentateuch's the first 5 books. The Torah, of the Taurus, of the stories.
The 9:30 coffee break with George Knight on 88.9 WERS.
Hey, Georgia.
Man and His Symbols by Carl Gustav Jung. Here's where we were before. Today's day is the day of this day, this god. Hermes, Mercury, or Thoth in Egyptian. Above, the Egyptian god Thoth, Thoth, with the head of a bird, an ibis, in a relief from 350 BC. Thoth is an underworld figure associated with transcendence. It was he who judged the souls of the dead. The Greek god Hermes, who was called Psychopomp, or soul guide, had the function of guiding the dead to the underworld. Left a stone herm, which was placed at crossroads, symbolizing the god's role as a mediator between 2 worlds. On the side of the herm is a snake twined around a staff. The symbol, the caduceus, was carried over to the Roman god Mercury, right, a 16th century Italian bronze, who also acquired wings, recalling the bird as a symbol of spiritual transcendence. Left, a 17th century French painting, reveals the snake's role as mediator between this world and the next. Orpheus is playing his lyre. He and his audience fail to notice that Eurydice, center of picture, has been bitten by a snake, a fatal wound that symbolizes her descent into the underworld. And page 239. Examples of animal symbols of divinities from 3 religions. Top of page, the Hindu god Ganesha. A painted sculpture from the royal palace of Nepal, god of prudence and wisdom, above the Greek god Zeus in the form of a swan with Leda, right and on opposite sides of a medieval coin, the crucified Christ shown as a man and as a serpent. Hare Krishna.